Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So I just wanted to make a video today. I'm calling it The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. So this is going to be all about my last year and my time here in Germany and what my experience has been like being an au pair through the good, the bad, and the ugly. Okay, so I'm going to start with the bad and the ugly and then end with the good because I think it's always good to end on a positive note. So for those of you who don't know, basically I met my host family while we were both living in the States, got to know them a little bit in the States before deciding to come over to Germany. So I've actually known the family for about a year and a half now, but the thing is you never really know what it's going to be like to live with people that you don't really know that well. I'm just going to start out with the bad and we'll go from there. So like I was saying, you never really know what it's going to be like to live with other people, and I thought I was pretty well prepared. Before I came to Germany, I was living with another family that was not my own, and I just had a really great relationship with the whole entire family that I was living with before I came here, and I felt like I was actually friends with the people that I was living with, and like they were even a part of my family and I was a part of their family. And so I kind of expected that that's how it would be here, and that really hasn't been the case. Living with another family that's not your own, with people who are seemingly your bosses, is a lot different than living with people that are your friends, or people that you really like. So I think it's been really challenging for me to live with people and to live under their rules and regulations, if you will, of how they want their house run and taken care of and what they expect from you as someone who lives with them, etc. I think for me it's just been challenging also figuring out when is work time and when is playtime. As an au pair, it's kind of hard if you're staying at home a lot to separate yourself from work time and playtime with the family. For me, the biggest suggestion that I have is if you feel like you're not getting time off, spend some time away from the family, whether that means leaving the house or just even going for a walk. Or for me, a lot during the wintertime, I just came to my room. I just found that the best thing for me to do was to leave and come to my own space, into my own room, in order to make sure that I was having downtime, because there was an element of if I'm with the children and they're doing something that they shouldn't be doing, or they're picking on each other or whatever, then I needed to step in and be the adult. But then it felt like work to me, and it felt like I should have my time off. So that's my suggestion. Get out of the house, take a walk around your neighborhood, get to know people around you, hang out with friends, or simply just come to your room. Number 2 bad thing is not having a car. I so take for granted the fact that in the States everyone has a car. Everyone drives, everyone has a car. It's our main mode of transportation, and I knew that coming here to Germany would be a little bit easier because there's a pretty good public transportation system. However, I didn't anticipate how expensive the transportation system would be. My suggestion for future au pairs is ask about the transportation system in your city if you're not going to have a car. I think that some people make that a negotiable, where they won't even speak with families who won't give them a vehicle. And I think it depends on what country you live in. If you're going to the US, I know that it's pretty common that au pairs get a car or will have access to a car sometimes, simply because the US doesn't have the same public transportation system like they do in Europe. So I think that's totally fair. But here in Germany, like, I don't need a car. I can still get around without a car. So for me, my suggestion is if you're coming to Europe, if you're coming to Germany, someplace similar that has a pretty good public transportation system, I would ask your host parents as part of their payment for you to live there. If you don't live right in the city center, ask for them to help pay for your monthly ticket to ride the train system. For me, I wish that I had known to ask for that, because it would have saved me a ton of money in the long run, and it would have made my time here more enjoyable. So definitely be aware of the cost of a car, but also be aware of the cost of public transportation in the city that you'll be living in. Another thing that's been really hard for me is family values and the differences between what I expect and what my host family expects from their children. This is something that may not apply to everyone, but I think it's applicable to some people, so I wanted to share about my experience. I'm a Christian, and my host parents are not. And although their children know about Christianity, we celebrate Christian holidays in Germany, etc., I think there's still some elements of things that I would expect out of children that I work with or my own children. So for me, it's little things, apologizing when you've hurt someone, making sure that someone's okay if they've gotten hurt, or please and thank yous, going out of their way to help someone even when they don't like it, and encouraging that in our children. I think these are just really important qualities that for me I want my children to have. However, I'm working for another family and I'm living with another family who may not reflect these values. And so I just encourage au pairs who are considering working for a family who may have a different religious background or may hold different values in their family to maybe have a discussion about that. I just encourage you to think about that, think about the values that you hold, that you would expect your host kids to hold and that maybe they won't. And to have a conversation about that. Okay, so another thing that's been really hard for me in being an au pair is sometimes I just feel unappreciated. I don't feel like I get a thank you for the things that I do often, and although it's part of my job and is expected of me, I think there's an element of doing housework, doing things around the house to help keep things moving, doing the laundry, doing extra amounts of laundry that I wouldn't normally do, or just little things like knowing that your host parents are having guests over that night and vacuuming the floor, or making sure the kitchen is really clean. Those kind of things I feel like sometimes go unnoticed, and sometimes I feel unappreciated, and that sort of demotivates me to want to do my job to the best of my ability. So I just encourage you, if you're an au pair and you're struggling with not feeling appreciated, just keep at it. It's okay. Just remember that by spending your time with this family, you are helping them and you are loving them and you are serving them. Finally, the thing that's been really challenging for me is the pay. I think au pairs all over the world kind of make a different wage, but I feel like in Germany, in Europe in general, au pairs don't make very much money. They take into account the high cost of living here in regards to our pay, and I feel like that, although it may be true, I feel like it's unfair the wage that au pairs get paid here. If you don't know about what you could be getting paid, I would suggest you start looking it up. I feel like I deserve more, and part of that is because I have a university degree working with children, and I've studied for 6 years, and this was my first job out of college, etc. But I chose to come regardless because I wanted the experience of living overseas. So it's up to you, but that's my experience. Okay, let's get to the ugly stuff. This stuff is not so fun. Some ugly things that have happened to me since I've been an au pair. Cleaning up vomit is one of the first ones. Yes, it happens. I have older kids, so some of you will probably be wiping bottoms and cleaning up poop and pee, and I had to clean up vomit. It happens. Children get sick. Children have accidents. All kinds of things happen. You never know what to expect with children, but just know if you don't like children and you have a weak stomach, you're gonna have to deal with this at some point. If you don't like children, I would never suggest that you be an au pair because it's just not practical, especially if you're spending all of your time with the children. As an au pair, you will clean up vomit, you will clean up puke, you will clean up everything. You will wipe their noses, you will wipe their butts. It's all part of working with kids. Okay, so my second story is that I lost a child. So, well, I guess around winter time, so it'd been about 6 months in it since I'd been here. My oldest host child started taking the public transportation to get to school because his school is not in our neighborhood, which is sort of uncommon here in Germany. Most children go to the school in their neighborhood. However, my host kid goes to a school in the neighboring neighborhood. So we started training him to take the bus because I would have to walk to pick him up with the other child, with the younger child, and it just got to be so frustrating at times and so much. Eventually we let him do it on his own. Well, the first day that he did it on his own, I called the school to ask them to send him to the bus. He got to the bus, but he got to the bus stop late, took the wrong bus, and so when I went to the bus stop to pick him up, he wasn't there. And I was nervous that he didn't get off the bus. I didn't see him on the bus, but I thought maybe he got off before, or maybe I just didn't see him and he kept riding the bus. So anyways, what ended up happening was he got a later bus, and I had no way of knowing this. So I was all over the city searching for him. Finally, I ended up walking back towards our house to check and see if he was there. And here he was walking towards the house, and I was like, "Where were you?" And he's like, "I've been at the bus stop for forever. Where have you been?" It was really panicky because I had to call their mom and say, "I don't know where your son is." And we found him. Everything was fine, but it was really scary. So that definitely can happen. Okay, so another thing that was really, really rough for me this last year was Christmas time. Christmas is such a huge part of my life. I love Christmas. It's like one of my favorite holidays. Probably is my favorite holiday. It's just so important to me to be with family and friends. And so it was really, really hard to be away from my family for Christmas. I hated it. Christmas Eve, I went to bed sobbing. I just sobbed. I just started sobbing, and I cried for a long time. And then finally, I just decided that I was going to be happy with what I got to do the next day, and that I was choosing happiness, and that I was going to still be able to see my family and friends via Skype and wish them all a Merry Christmas and get to open gifts with them, and that was great. It just wasn't the same. So just know that when holidays come around, especially Christmas or other important holidays, it's really hard. And so if you're not going to be able to go home and be with your family at Christmas time, it's okay. You'll get through it. It'll be okay, but it's really hard. So just know that. Finally, let's get to the good stuff. Let's get to the good stuff about what it's like to be an au pair, because there is so much good stuff. For me, the greatest thing about being an au pair here was getting to travel Europe. I have been to so many countries since I've lived in Germany. I've traveled all around Germany, a lot of southern Germany. I haven't gotten to travel as much as I would have liked. I think my number one suggestion for au pairs is save money before you come here. Save money for traveling, for wherever you're going, because I did not make enough money. I wouldn't have never been able to go to Italy, to Paris, everywhere that I went without having saved that money before I came here. So my suggestion is save as much money as you can so that you have all the extra money that you want in order to travel. So as I said before, I am a Christian, and so for me, one of the best things that I've done here was be able to find a church family. If you are a Christian or you have a specific religion that you still want to practice while you're an au pair, I suggest that as you're interviewing families, as you're talking to families, that if that's something that is really important to you, that before you even agree to be an au pair somewhere, that you start searching and see if you think that you can find a church in the area. Also, along with that, almost all of my friends that I've met have been through my church, or through international clubs or au pair clubs. And the greatest thing about that is you get to meet people from all over the world. I literally have friends from every corner of the globe now. And it's so great because if I ever get to go visit their countries, I know that I've made good friends who would welcome me and put me up in their places that they're living. So please take the opportunity to get to know other internationals, find international groups, find people even from your own country, and get to know them and spend time with them, because these relationships could last you a lifetime. My second to last thing, the best part about au pairing, is getting to love the children that you're working with. I remember the first time that one of the kids told me that they loved me. It was the cutest thing I've ever heard, and my heart just melted, and I realized then that I love them too. And so embrace it, cherish it, because it won't last forever. You won't be with them for forever if you're only with them for a year of their life, maybe less. So embrace that. Finally, I think one of the best things about being an au pair is getting to travel and learn about a new culture, getting to learn about a new country, and if you're lucky, you'll get to learn some of the language. I know a lot of au pairs become au pairs just to learn the language and to study the language of where they're going. So I encourage you and I implore you, if you are looking to be an au pair, choose a country that you're excited about learning the language and the culture. Germany was never a place that I thought I would ever want to live. I've always thought I would want to visit Germany, but I never thought I would want to live here. I sort of wish that I had chosen a place like France or Italy, or had the opportunity to choose that place. I didn't really choose Germany. Germany kind of just happened because I met my host family in the US. But if you can choose, I would suggest that you choose a place that you're excited about, because it will help you be excited about learning the language and learning more about the culture. That's just my experience. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any other questions about my experience or questions au pairing in general, please feel free to comment below. I would love to answer anyone's questions that you have. Also, the Au Pair Bible, which I did a series of memes with on my Coffee and Tea with Me channel, the aupairbible.com is up and running now, and there's lots of au pair profiles on there. There's articles about being an au pair, articles for how to find a host family, and you can even send personal messages to Anna, the woman who's running it. It's a really great resource. Follow them on Instagram, Au Pair Bible, on Snapchat. You can every week, 3 times a week, you can see au pairs from all over the globe and their experience. So if you're considering being an au pair, I would suggest that you check out the Au Pair Bible, because I wish that I had known about it. I wish that it had existed before I started au pairing. It's a great resource and a great tool. I love it. And yeah, so I will also be featured in an article about this same topic, sharing a lot of the same information through the Au Pair Bible. So definitely check that out. So thanks for stopping by. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.